My name is Dakota. I'm the creative director here at Nisolo. So I manage our creative team and our social teams and help produce all content that goes across web, print, digital, you name it. Nisolo is a sustainable footwear and accessory brand based here in Nashville, Tennessee. We manufacture mainly leather goods, shoes, bags, that kind of thing, and our factory is down in Peru and Mexico. Ultimately, we're a mission-based brand, so we pay 100% living wages to our producers that manufacture our product and then offset 100% of our carbon emissions. And ultimately believe that the shoes that we wear should not only look good, but do good for the people that make them and give back more to the planet than they take away. So we're a pretty small, lean team. We're comprised of a graphic designer, a creative producer, and myself. And then we have the support of the larger marketing team. So we serve every department across the organization, from product and development to retail, but most of our time is spent on retention and performance marketing. It's easier said than done. We divide and conquer for sure. And then we really rely on Litho to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. We have a lot of moving pieces all of the time, and using a program that helps us make sure we're seeing everything from a bird's eye view helps us a lot. So our biggest challenge that helped right off the bat was reviews and requests. So we used to receive requests from every which way: email, Slack, side conversations, meetings, and it really meant it was the job of the designer to go searching for all of the information that they needed, which essentially doubles our workload. And so once we onboarded Litho, it helped make sure that we got all of the information we needed right off the bat, and made sure it added a little bit of accountability to the requester so that they're providing all the information that we need upfront. So we worked with a third-party agency whose job it is to open retail locations across the country. With being a small team, we really needed to rely on third-party help. So they helped source all of our storefronts, they helped open them, build them out. But the creative process really was collaborative. It started with a bunch of mood boards and make sure that we were providing direction for the third party. And then once they had everything built out, then requests started coming through Litho for us to be able to build graphic activations and make sure we understood the customer's journey around the store and that pieces of information were built throughout. And so all of that lived within Litho, and it really helped us to get approvals and make sure that everybody knew what was going to be in each store, and made the process go a lot faster. So we've had where people who manage our agency relationship are within Litho, and then they're submitting what the agency does. But then we also have added agency members as team members within our account. And that really allowed for a lot more collaboration than what was happening. Because sometimes when you have that third party or that intermediary, things get lost in translation. And so having them in our account was really helpful to make sure they knew what changes we wanted, we knew where they were coming from, and it just allowed for a lot quicker of an approval process. Yes, so the first major project we undertook after we onboarded Litho was our sustainability facts label. So essentially, like a nutrition label for food, it is a label that describes how each product has impacted the person making it and the planet. So it's categorized off of 200 data points, and it's product specific for each shoe that we sell. And it's ultimately meant to encourage other brands to provide the same level of transparency that we provide and push the fashion industry in a more sustainable direction. We built out a project within Litho, and we're able to show all stakeholders all of the moving parts that we were working on. So it really helped keep us on track, hitting deadlines, as well as just making sure that approvals were happening faster than they had been. From the design of the label to the PR decks that were being sent out, everyone was able to have a say and make sure that they were reviewing. And that really helped speed the process along and make sure that we got all accurate information out the first round. Once they're in it, they're like, oh, the reviews process is so much easier because you can put a dot where you want to, and and you know that everyone is understanding what you're saying or referencing, because it's not just a comment said about an overall project, but it's a really specific point. I love the reporting feature of Litho because creative is traditionally really hard to report on. And so I use a lot of the metrics, like how many requests were submitted each month versus how many we're completing each month. It gives me a good idea of if we're behind or if we're ahead. And then the biggest one I'd say is the request duration. I track every month just to know what our lead times are. And every month I'm able to report to stakeholders to say, this month expect a 2-week turnaround time or a 1-week turnaround time. So immediate goals, we are working on a video strategy right now and working on building out brand videos, videos that explain our sustainability facts label. And so I think Litho will be really important in that process, just because we are able to review videos and leave comments at specific points in time. So I think that'll make the editing process a lot easier. And then long term, our goal is to build out the creative team. And I know Litho will be the first kind of point of entry for any new team member. So I'm excited for that. So if they're in a similar position as myself, they know the plan is not the plan. And I think it's really important to have programs and platforms that move as quickly as you need them to move. And that's what we found with Litho, is we have changes every single day to our plan. And so being able to reflect that in a platform is really, really helpful and has made us so much more efficient as a creative team. Lastly, I'd say it's really nice to have a place that creative members feel ownership over, because we are remote. We don't necessarily always get to see the fruit of our labors because we pass them off to other teams. And so having somewhere that kind of feels like a digital office for us, where we're able to collaborate like we're sitting next to each other, is really helpful.